No, that'd be interesting. I'd like to see their VR headset. It's about time Carlos was proven right.
I think
And
it's so funny to me how you really think that that's like a thing that's like so many years out for a company like Apple. You're like, are
uh,
you? I can't believe that you don't think that
of
it's
course, they're
actually
going to
actual
release a
real product.
headset. What I'm saying, I've always said, is that Meta will
Mhm.
not lose because they release a headset. That's not
Oh
going to
man.
happen.
Okay.
Of course, the headset's coming. Who knows when it's coming? Could be coming
Carlos, why
tomorrow.
why are you saying it so skeptically? Why don't you
No,
think?
I think the opposite. I think Apple is going to do with this with like they did with the smartphone market. I think once they come out with that
Really?
headset, yeah, I think when they come out with that headset, I think it's gonna I think invest Vitaly seems to think that okay, you can be number two, right? Like Facebook might become the number two and become the Android.
Yep.
My thinking is Apple's solution to this VR thing is going to be so complete and so different from what even stated goals are of Zuckerberg that it's going to make investors feel like, what was Zuckerberg doing all these years? Why were they doing what Apple's doing? And I do think that it's going to be horrible for Meta investors. That's my opinion. And I know
Uh,
Vitaly disagrees, but I
Probably
don't think
totally
it's going to be
wrong
good for,
because they're going to
for Meta.
tie it to the phone somehow or the ecosystem, and then everybody who doesn't have an iPhone is sort of out of luck. So where do they have to go?
No, but that's what
Back
they
to
did.
Meta.
Hold on, but that's what they did with the iPhone initially. A lot of the processing was done for the watch on the phone, and then eventually the hardware was miniaturized, and it all worked on the watch.
I actually
So
bought the phone, by the way. It
yeah,
still works better. You need you need an iPhone to do anything with the actual watch to set it up and everything. You need
yeah,
an
True.
actual
That's true.
iPhone.
That's true.
okay.
You can't do this any other way. So they are tying a whole
So you
ecosystem
think the
in.
barrier of entry of needing or maybe needing an iPhone to, you're not going to need an iPhone to set up the
My
software,
point is
to
they
set
they
up
built an
the
ecosystem. I think they're going to try to incorporate
you
the
are not
products into
going
the
to need,
ecosystem,
listen,
which is fine. That you could win. They could totally get the majority of monetization. I'm not
Mhm.
arguing with that. But Meta's going to win everybody else, which is a lot of people.
I think anyone that Meta was going to win, they've already won them. Where's this?
No,
Where's
that's
the
not
rest of
true.
these
This
people?
is the metaverse.
You don't even use VR every day. You don't even use it every day.
I
When's
work
the last time
almost
you
all the
put your
time.
goggles on, right? When's the
Actually,
last
two
time
days
you put
two
them
days
on
ago.
and
2
played
days ago.
drums?
2 days
What were
ago.
you doing? What were you doing two
He
days
was
ago?
masturbating, of
Oh
course.
my
Well,
goodness,
VR masturbating
Vitaly.
is a thing. You know.
I mean, come on, you know Vitaly. What do you even have to ask that?
Well, first of all, I don't know if you're in my house, but Smash Drums. I do like. It's a game, by the way. Smash Drums. If people haven't played it, you
Yeah, he
should
I
plays
thought
the
try
that
this
was
drums.
game.
I thought that was a porno for a second. I was like, smash
No,
Smash
drums.
drums?
yeah,
It's like, come here, baby.
It's
Let me
like
smash
isn't
some
it like
drums.
Smash
a
Boom.
Beat
Smash
Saber? Beat
Bros?
Saber for drums, right? Beat Saber for drumming.
It's like
Is
a
that
good
like
drumming
Guitar
game.
Hero? Is that like Guitar
And,
Hero
and
for
by the
drums?
way, just FYI, my kids, I think it was a couple of days ago or the weekend, they took it themselves when his friend came over. My kid's friend came over. They went and got the VR, which is right behind me somewhere. They got it and went to play themselves without me even telling them. That
What do
means
you mean?
kids
Okay.
like it too, besides adults like me.
Yeah, there's a big fad of like remember when we were kids, we had like those yo-yos and everything else. It was the same thing
Oh
like a
God, he's
last
calling it a yo-yo.
no. The reason why I'm saying is I'm
Chris
not
has
saying it's
those
a
really
yo-yo.
high level 50
No,
mage
no,
gigs.
I'm
Just
saying you remember
I-
like
I-
every
go
year
ahead.
there would be a fad where everyone would jump on the bandwagon towards
Yeah.
something,
like those
right?
weird spinners.
Yeah, yeah.
I'll
That
be
he
right
still
back.
doesn't 20 something.
Gotta
But
get his spinner.
the same thing was happening where people like the kids were going up to their parents saying, I want an Oculus, I want an Oculus. There was a kid who shot his grandmother because he didn't get like an Oculus or something. You guys
Wait,
know that?
wait, wait.
Like,
What?
did you see that?
I know.
Yeah, there was
That gets crazy, man. Who cares about that
yeah,
kid?
there was no, I'm just saying there was like that is the level of love and the kids like demand that the kids had for Oculus.
But
I
he
think it was
shot
last year
his
or the year
grandma?
before.
Like killed her?
Because he wouldn't get him a Oculus or his mom. I don't know, either one of those two. Yeah,
Bro.
I'll bring up the story.
Well, there's some good comments. One I think I saw about
His kids watch
PS5
VR.
VR over Oculus, and that could
Yeah,
be true.
the PS5 VR is actually pretty damn good. It feels more like what Apple would do. It feels very approachable.
Okay, so it's
Very
done.
approachable. Very
Okay, so
What?
somebody else did it already. Okay,
What?
that's never going to succeed. By the way, the PS5 VR, great, absolutely great. You need a PS5, which is $500. So now you need to be in someone else's ecosystem. It's not a generic device you put on your head, all wireless. You're tethered to another console. This
But
is
these
the
are the
problem.
same people.
Meta
Right,
is
but these are the
going
same
after
people.
no
Right.
console, no
Hold on, but
tethering to anything.
when you
Anyone
buy a
can have it.
console, hold on, but when you buy a console, you still need to pay 50, $60 for a game or have a subscription. So
Okay.
there is that if you're a gamer, that is where a lot of your disposable money goes into.
You're
So
missing the
buying a
point.
headset is
I'm
not
saying
not
if you're into
a
VR, now
barrier.
you need a PS5. So you have to get the PS5. You can't have an Xbox and buy the PS5 VR.
Mhm.
That's the problem. So what Meta's doing is actually very smart. They're making it so, hey, You want to connect to your PC?
People at
Go
Meta
ahead.
don't
Do it.
even like the metaverse. How many articles are you going to ignore?
Hold on.
about
To
people
Carlos's
coming-
point.
So
To Carlos's
ridiculous.
They
point.
don't like it. It took them forever to get.
You're talking about
legs,
Horizon
bro. Like,
Worlds.
they don't
I know
have
what you're
the
talking
tech.
about. You're talking about Horizon Worlds. No one's talking
Yeah.
about the actual VR chats, Smash
Vitaly,
Drums,
Vitaly, real
Pro
quick.
Golf. You're missing a whole world out there.
Vitaly, Disney cut their Metaverse division yesterday. They cut about 7,000 employees. That doesn't seem good for Zuck's Metaverse when one of the biggest companies in the world is stopping
Nobody's
Metaverse
using it, man.
operations. So what are
I
your
don't know.
thoughts?
I
on
don't know
that?
why that's not good. I consider that
Well, because Meta would want Disney as a client on their
Yeah.
products, and Disney's like, we're not making the Metaverse anymore. It's not a thing in their company. They don't have a division anymore. It's done.
And Disney does own a lot of content.
They
you know,
own the
so-
best IP. So
well, also
why
Microsoft
this
is
good
joining
for Zuck?
partnership. Microsoft is partnering with Meta for a reason too, and I don't know why they're doing that first of all, but they're partnering with Meta in their VR. So there's going to be winners and losers. That's all I'm saying. So someone has to be there to get ready to win. Do you understand that part? Someone actually has to be there. Meta is building up the thing that when it's ready, it's not ready yet. This is probably like the 10-year plan here. They will be there.
Your big problem with Alex Karp was that he's not an operator.
Oh God, we're going back to him.
Hold on, no. Just real quick.
God.
I think Bob Iger is one of the best operators of all time. I think so. You can't say shit about Bob Iger.
Well, the
You can say
last
whatever
10
you want
years of
about
Bob
Alex Karp.
Iger's, the last
Why
10
is
years sucked
Iger,
of Bob Iger.
who came back restructuring Disney to cut the Metaverse? If your argument is
Because
the
his
Metaverse,
stock
you read some of
fell
those
to
key
under
points? Can you read
$100
some of that?
again.
Just so, can you read some of that just to get a little bit of the backstory?
yeah. So Disney has cut its Metaverse division as part of layoffs. The division was led by Mike White, who was previously in charge of Disney's consumer experiences. All 50 of the employees under White were let go, but White remains at the company. Disney, like most companies in 2021, hopped on the Metaverse hype train. Again, hype train. And now Bob Iger is back. 7,000 employees will be cut, 50 of them in the Metaverse division. Disney said last month it plans to cut $5.5 billion in costs. So when they're trying to save money, why is the future that you say, Vitaly, is going to happen, which is the Metaverse, the first thing that's being cut to save money?
Well, hold on. Before Vitaly answers, dude, 50 people in a multi-billion-dollar
No, but the
company,
Metaverse
nothing.
division is gone. That's the point.
But that's
of that.
nothing. That means that they didn't really have a big investment in the metaverse in the first place.
But that
right?
means they were hyping it up in 2021, saying, we're gonna have Mickey Mouse in the
I don't
fucking
think they were
Metaverse."
hyping it up. I think that they were exploring the idea, which a lot of companies are doing right now. Like everyone had plans to do things in the whenever a new trend comes, you're dumb if you're not at least investigating it to a certain degree. This seems like Disney was exploring the option and then chose that.
Well,
this
why are they
wasn't
not
the way to
exploring
go
it? That's
yet.
my point,
Dude,
Why
right
is it
now is
because-
a bad time
yeah.
for Disney. Have you been not paying
Yeah.
attention on your stock channel about how bad
But
it
if
is
it's
for
only-
Disney right now?
All right.
First of all, Disney's in a tough place. They're trading 94 times price to free cash flow. They're in a bad spot, but
That's what I'm saying.
you have
They
to
can't afford
innovate.
the
You have
metaverse.
to you have to innovate in order to survive. And if the Metaverse is the future,
They need to
Vitaly,
make. Okay, Disney's a bad example, honestly, but they need to make Disney Plus profitable before they care anything about the metaverse. Okay, you're missing the point here completely. All right, Microsoft, which is super profitable, is going into the metaverse through Zucks. Okay, so that's a different strategy that's going on because Satya Nadella wants to be everywhere. He has a much better strategy. So whatever, you can see it as a negative. I see it as you need to build the technology. Someone has to have it there. And you guys we're all old, by the way. Even you admit, my kids, when we're playing like GT5, like they see this world, they're immersed.
you
I'm
let
not
your
talking
kids
about VR
play
for a
that.
second.
You let your kids play that.
They're watching me play, but whatever. A lot of cursing going on, but they're watching me play that, and they're like, "Wow, this is so real. This is so cool. Like, I can't wait for this to happen." They're just talking nonstop. I'm like, "Dude, shut up! I'm trying to listen to the story here." Okay, but the point is, they're so immersed in it. As soon as they will get a real world, as opposed to like this bullshit VR world that we have right now, because it doesn't look real. You know what I mean? As soon as that happens, I'm gonna lose them. Every kid is gonna be gone. That's gonna take 10 years to play out. Meta's the one who's going to probably take a lot of this portion of, and maybe Apple, who knows, but Microsoft seems to acquiesce to Meta, and I'm not sure what Google's doing because their product is not successful yet. I don't know if you heard of their product. They have a very expensive VR solution. So Meta's literally the only one who's the most affordable mass market VR solution for everybody. So that's going to be the Android of the next 10 years. That's what I think.
Yeah, but Meta's actually, people don't see Meta as a product company. They tried to Portal, they tried to make their own phone. They've never been able to successfully create a product. There's people that don't have confidence in them in hardware. So where is it? Where is the growth for them? If they've already got this base of whatever 20 million Oculuses out there, where's the base? Where are they going to grow into? You think that someone who has an iPhone is going to buy the
Yes.
the Oculus
I
over the
have
Apple
6
VR?
iPhones.
Over the
Apple,
Apple,
there's not an Apple
over
version
the
yet.
Apple one.
Yeah.
I would. I have 6
with
iPhones.
Apple's App Store, porting over several of the apps, having a VR version of it.
Right
the
now,
integration with the OS, the integration with their own Apple apps.
it's funny how black and white you are.
Edit in VR.
It's funny how black and white you are, considering I have an iPhone. I also have an Xbox. I have a PlayStation.
Apple's option isn't available to you yet.
Hold on. I have a Steam Deck. I have I got I got a Nintendo. I got a Nintendo Switch.
I'm
I got
saying
a Nintendo
once the Apple's VR headset is available to you, if you didn't have any and you only had the $500 to spend, which one do you think you would buy?
Well, there's one other thing that I hope everyone knows. Apple is not infallible because they've had products that haven't necessarily done that well either. Like
it took them
Apple
3 iterations
TV.
to get to watch anywhere. They didn't nail it right away.
I think you think once again that it's a small market. I think what Apple did with the iPhone is that they blew up the whole market. Where before I did not want a phone or a smartphone before Apple came along. Then everybody wanted one. Of course, not everybody got one. They got an Android as well. They got a Samsung. They got whatever they got.
Pixel.
Right? Whatever happens. So I think you're missing that aspect of it. Right now, there's 10, 20 million headsets going around. Eventually, there's like 7 billion people here. There's plenty of market for Apple and Microsoft and Google and Meta, of course. That's what I think.
Yeah, I'm in agreement with Vitaly. I think what we're seeing right now is the first iteration of many of things to come. Facebook, Oculus, whatever you want to call it, has a lead in it. They were in risk of squandering that lead because they had literally invested so much into it that they ended up getting bureaucratic bloat. Like there was a whole article around their CTO trying to get anything done, and it was literally going through managers of managers of managers, and that was Facebook's problem, that they ended up creating huge bureaucratic beast that wouldn't let them actually innovate. And so I think that they did a lot of course correcting. They lightened the load and got back into startup mode. So that should be a good move on their part. And on top of it, they've also been buying a ton of content studios that specifically deal with the metaverse and like it plays around that. And now if you later on top AI, which a lot of people don't necessarily know about Meta's AI, but Meta has a lot of AI components to their business. And they also have a lot of AI engineers that work for them. They actually develop Tensor PyTorch.
I'm glad,
which is
I'm glad you brought this up because I don't think Carlos understands how strong they are in AI, and Apple sucks.
They were the top.
Wait, Apple doesn't suck in AI.
I do understand. No. Listen, I do understand.
How do you think they're making these chips?
I think you've got confirmation bias with with Metaverse thing. I really think that you are seeing something that is not there. No one gives a shit about the Metaverse. The Facebook version of it, no one gives a shit. Even the employees don't like it, don't use it. The Horizon Worlds guy left. Like they've got a lot of issues, and I think you're sounding a little bit like these guys that we heard about talking about FUV, about how
I sound like the guy likes balance
the Liberator, all this stuff. Like the demand wasn't there.
Bro, he just said you're as irrelevant as this Joker card. That's exactly what he said. Look at him. He said you are irrelevant. He said you are seeing something that doesn't exist.
No, I just think
isn't that all of us? I see that something is going to happen with the metaverse with Mark Zuckerberg. By the way, he's going to make me money anyway. I'm actually close, almost there at break even. Not even having anything to do with metaverse. Metaverse is failing right now. So I agree with you there. In 10 years, if I'm right, this is a multi-trillion-dollar company just because of ads, as Amit said before. And forget about the ads part. If that happens, I've made a 4 or 5x. And then if the metaverse happens, I made another 4 or 5x. So I don't see any loss for me because I'm backed up by the Zuck truck, which has all this money for advertising. So there's no loss for me. Even when I'm going to be wrong in the metaverse, I'm going to be right on Zuck. That's what the main point here.
Yeah. I wouldn't doubt Zuck. I would
not doubt Zuck. You are such a hater of Zuck. While you use all his products, you use WhatsApp, you send me Instagram links. You're like, I fucking hate this, but you send me every day an Instagram link, dude. So like, you gotta wake up. You are part of the Zuck system, just like I am.
Of course I am. But what I'm saying is, Facebook has done a really good job copying, right? That's what they do. They copied and basically put Snapchat out of business. They're really good at copying it, but I don't think they're going to be able to.
What is wrong with copying and winning? I don't understand. This is America. We're allowed to copy and win.
Sure.
And don't forget about the TikTok ban that could be coming anytime.
Jesus Christ. There are so many bullish things happening, and you're so blind because you just fucking hate that guy. It's crazy.
It's not.
Hold on, can we give Carlos an opportunity? Carlos, can you lay out why you don't like Meta so much?
It's not that I don't. I mean, look, I don't personally like Mark Zuckerberg as a CEO.
Why?
Well, because we all know a lot of the we want to say the moral issues with Facebook and how they've used their leverage and power over the years, and the damage that Mark Zuckerberg's companies have done to America, both on the privacy side as well as like the addiction to social media. Okay, but I also see, like, as a business model, even in my own anecdotal experience, that the average Facebook is becoming less relevant as a social media platform. It's becoming more like a utility. And I'm not excited about AT&T stock, right? It's becoming more like that. And I don't see them continuing to grow their way, to grow their user base, or grow I'm saying Facebook as a platform. Yes, they bought Instagram and they bought WhatsApp, but I don't think that you can buy and acquire and copy your way to the valuations that Vitaly thinks he's going to be getting.
Oh my God.
To get into the fiber connection.
Utility company.
I think that
wish
Facebook
they had. Yeah.
I think it's like the conversation we had about Netflix. Like, there's a point when they've grown to the point that they're going to grow, and at that point they're a value stock that should just pay a really nice dividend, and then I think it's got a place.
So you think Facebook should pay a dividend?
I would probably buy it if it did.
No.
Oh, now all of a sudden he's buying it. Fuck.
For a dividend, sure. For a dividend, sure.
Dude, you wish it's Meta. People would wish they had margins like Meta. Like, if you look at Meta's margins, they are like out of this world. And on top of it, once you layer on all these layoffs that are happening, you're gonna see multi-billion-dollar quarters of like earnings happening.
I know.
Like,
this motherfucker prints money, and it's like you hate money, Carlos.
Then why is that CEO?
You and Amit hate money.
Why if he's printing so much money, why is he making such an outsized bet in this metaverse?
Because look, he
why?
sees there's a problem.
Why disturb the train?
Apple.
Why upset shareholders so much?
Apple.
Why?
No, I agree with you. It's
right.
Apple.
It's because Apple basically's got him by the balls. If Apple
Yes.
makes one change in their terms of service, it fucks this gravy train that you guys think. This is the sword of Damascus hanging over their head, and you're putting 40% of your portfolio.
Oh shit, he brought it up.
He's using Chris's words. Oh,
Get out of here,
By the way,
man.
40.
That's
It's not 40.
ridiculous.
You know, it's not 40%. How
I'm
can
just
I have
saying.
40% Tesla and Enphase and then 40%?
There's
There's a little bit of math that has to go on here, first of all. Okay.
There's no math on here. It's too
I can't
late.
have 40% Enphase, 40% Tesla, 40% Meta. That's just not how it works, by the way. I have a very small Meta position compared to my portfolio now.
But you're so
I-
rich that your Meta position is like 700.
It's like 40%.
No, it's not.
I'm just
it's
saying
not
in general.
$700.
I would be nervous. I would be nervous.
Okay, we're gonna move on. To
Actually, the
questions.
one stock I am not nervous about is Zuckerberg making me money. I have at least a double without even thinking about it. Honestly, like not even thinking about it.
Right.
I think Vitaly's right, by the way. I think Vitaly's right. Facebook has 2 billion daily active users. They announced it 3 weeks ago.
It's
2
crazy.
billion DAUs.
Yeah,